Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're talking about SpongeBob, one of the most beloved cartoons in the world today. Oh! From 1999 to 2025, this yellow guy has been around in the media a lot. And actually, my first attempt at doing YouTube before starting my current channel was reviewing SpongeBob episodes and DVDs exactly 10 years ago.
Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Mr. SB, and SB stands for SpongeBob. SpongeBob is a pretty cool guy in my book. So...
As you can see, some things have changed over the years. Now that I'm a man, I have facial hair, and I even have appropriate underwear to prove to you guys of my manly toughness. Yeah, look at that. But yeah, I'm 21 years old now, which is just crazy to think that, you know, the 10 years have passed so quick, and, man, that's right, I'm 21, man, I gotta break out the goods. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. Breaking out the goods, but yeah, guys, I'm 21 now, I can now legally drink. This is just crazy time to be alive. Cheers, guys. So for this 10-year anniversary of my first real channel on YouTube, I'm going back to my roots, making a video that I've always wanted to make. My top 10 favorite episodes of SpongeBob. I imagine you guys need no introduction to SpongeBob, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into my guidelines for this ranking video. I grew up watching this first 100 episodes box set of SpongeBob on DVD, which includes everything from the first 5 seasons of the show, and this, to me, is my personal era of SpongeBob. Everything from episode 1, Help Wanted, to episode 100, Stanley S. SquarePants, is what SpongeBob is to me. But at the risk of sounding like every single other bloke on the internet, for this ranking video, I'm only going to be pulling from the first 3 seasons of the show. No, this isn't me saying that everything after the first movie is not canon and bad. No, of course not, that's just stupid. There are actually many seasons 4 and 5 episodes that I love. Dunces and Dragons, Krusty Towers, I even like the weird shit like Spongehenge. And then anything after season 5 I'm simply not familiar with. And the best post-movie episodes, I must say, would barely scrape into this top 10 list as is. The majority has a point when they say that the golden era of SpongeBob does lie in those first 3 seasons. And look, I'm a 21-year-old college student, and yes, I'm making this big video about SpongeBob, but I don't have the time to sit through 117 individual episode segments that make up the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob. So instead, I went down the list of episodes, jotted down around 50 episode segments that I sat down, watched, and rewatched just for this ranking video. This is not a tier list, a deep dive into all the episodes of the show or anything. We're just doing a good old-fashioned top 10 list. So since I'm watching a show whose target audience is half my age, and considering the fact that I've seen all of these episodes probably hundreds of times, your favorite episode may not be on this list. For example, Ripped Pants, not on the list.
Torches! Get your torches! Pitchforks! You can't be an angry mob without pitchforks!
I'm ranking this solely on my level of enjoyment that I get out of each episode at this specific moment in my life. Ripped Pants is funny, it has a great song, but because I've seen it so many times, it doesn't exactly blow me away or make me cackle. Personal preference is ultimately going to be the thing taking charge here. Because this is a 10-year anniversary, I will be talking about my top 10 in length, but to give some other episodes some recognition, I will be briefly going over the bottom half of my top 20. And in addition, I will be going over some honorable mentions later on before we hit the number 1 episode. Number 20, Just One Bite. Number 19, Survival of the Idiots. Number 18, The Camping Episode. Number 17, Crab Board. Number 16, Jellyfish Hunter. Number 15, Krusty Krab Training Video. Number 14, Frankendoodle. Number 13, Employee of the Month. Number 12, Born Again Crabs. Number 11, Dying for Pie. And yeah, I know, Dying for Pie is the best episode of the whole show. Krusty Krab training video not in the top 10? Blasphemy! Like I said, personal preference is taking charge here. So, without further ado, for my 10-year anniversary on YouTube talking about SpongeBob, let's go back, finish what I started, and talk about my top 10 personal favorite episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. Number 10, Squid's Day Off. The one where SpongeBob ever wonders if Squidward finished those errands.
Aaron. Have you finished those errands?
Already kicking this list off with a banger, right? I mean, it's expected with a top 10 list of a show of this caliber. The episode revolves around the classic duo of the naive SpongeBob and the jaded Squidward. Squidward, of course, stuck at the Krusty Krab on Sunday while it's beautiful outside. You know, the typical summer months as an adult.
There's no customers! There hasn't been one all day, and there isn't gonna be any!
Squidward throws a tantrum that ultimately ends in Mr. Krabs sacrificing his arms in an attempt to rescue a dime. With Krabs at the hospital and Squidward in charge, Squid immediately pulls a classic stunt on SpongeBob, giving him more work to do and calling it a promotion. Hell, he even puts 2 hats on SpongeBob to symbolize his 2 new jobs.
This is the best day of my life.
Me too.
This is a dream come true for SpongeBob and Squidward, since Squid can finally enjoy his Sunday outside of the restaurant. And this is where the episode really takes off in the fact that no matter what Squidward does, he cannot bring himself to enjoy his Sunday off. Like, he's so convinced that SpongeBob is gonna mess something up back at the Krusty Krab. And the kicker is, it's all in Squidward's head. SpongeBob is literally just sitting at the cash register doing nothing while Squidward is just imagining the worst.
You will not go back to the Krusty Krab.
I will destroy the Krusty Krab.
This eventually devolves into a full-on psychotic breakdown where Squidward thinks he sees SpongeBob in his bathroom and chases him down to the Krusty Krab. Now, watching a character lose their mind, whether it's played up for laughs or if it's something serious, it's always a good time to watch. Seeing the different ways Squidward imagines SpongeBob messing up the job to the point where he pretty much wishes it that way he can validate his own anxiety is hilarious. He eventually relents and decides that he's finished with his errands, to which SpongeBob notes they forgot to change the close sign to open, almost as if they could have taken the whole day off. Yeah, great episode here, hands down. Nine, procrastination. The one where SpongeBob, well, procrastinates. Time's up, SpongeBob. This one in particular hits especially hard now that I've been through 3 full years of college and currently slogging my way through senior year. And that is really what makes this episode so great, because when it comes to procrastination, no task is safe. In this case, SpongeBob has to write an essay about what not to do at a stoplight. And how long does it have to be?
Did you hear that? 800 words!
Yeah, I know.
Only 800 words? Aw, dude, that's like nothing. I could crank that assignment out in an hour tops. Especially with no sources required. I could do that right now if I wanted to. Yeah, I'm totally not going to do that. But again, procrastination is not just a school-exclusive thing. Whether it's going out to eat with a certain friend, doing the dishes, just doing anything that has to be done, and you're just sitting there like, SpongeBob gets distracted by everyone outside.
Come on, SpongeBob!
He gets distracted by Gary.
I gotta make sure you get your nutrition, so I'm not leaving until you eat every single bite.
He even cleans his entire kitchen just to push back writing this stupid paper.
I think it's clean enough now.
I think my favorite thing he does is whenever he decides to call Patrick, and Patrick reminds SpongeBob of his essay, to which SpongeBob replies with this.
Sheesh, what a chatterbox. Can't he see that I'm busy?
And of course we get the iconic "the" bit, and it's just the epitome of what it's like to be in a procrastination block. Focusing on the tiny details rather than just getting in the headspace, locking in, and just getting the damn thing done. Yeah, this episode is just so relatable in every single way. But that's only half of what makes this episode so great. Similarly to Squid's Day Off, we slowly watch SpongeBob's situation worsen. It's like 3 p.m. when he starts, and once the clock hits midnight, we start getting into the weird shit.
Midnight! Must get back to desk!
Man, I just love this animation and just that sinking feeling of knowing you need to do something, knowing you're running out of time, and just not being able to bring yourself to just do it. The dream sequence ends as SpongeBob finally powers through his essay, where we get the ending, Mrs. Puff revealing that she decided to cancel the assignment and scheduled a field trip to a stoplight instead. Yeah, in college, I've been there more than once.
Oh, we'll have lots of fun. You and me forever in the underwater sun.
Number 8. Sleepy Time. The one where SpongeBob infiltrates everyone's dreams.
I can't resist.
This one probably doesn't come to mind when most people think of top 10 episodes of the show, but I don't know, I've always had a soft spot for it. It's a great way to set the stage for the main cast of the series, and keep in mind this episode is from season 1, so it's a good spot to have these sort of contextual episodes for our main characters. SpongeBob dreams of a Bikini Bottom, where buildings are replaced with food, and he gets his precious driver's license. And man, I wish my license appeared out of thin air like that. Instead, I had to practice parallel parking for like a week straight just to get this bad boy.
Darn, I should have grown a mustache.
Hey! Anyways, SpongeBob gets ejected from his dream, and he decides to visit Gary's dream, probably my favorite dream sequence featured in the episode. I love the idea that Gary, the ocean equivalent of a cat, is actually a genius and is far smarter than his own owner.
Beware of your wandering eye, you little peripheron.
Patrick's dream is also hilarious, the fact that he can do anything he wants and he chooses to just ride this seahorse in a blank void. Like, the man doesn't even dream up of another quarter after he loses his last one.
Huh! Shoot! That was my last quarter.
Another highlight is SpongeBob helping Squidward out at his concert for some songs of salvation to salve the soul.
SpongeBob!
And then Mr. Krabs, angry over losing the mighty Moby Dollar, sending SpongeBob out of his dream into Plankton's is a crazy good transition. Of course, Plankton is dreaming about world destruction, which is another obvious highlight. You guys see what I mean, right? I just love the way this episode portrays each of the main characters. You know, even Pearl gets her own dream sequence in here. It's just a wonderfully creative idea, and I never really get tired of this episode.
Oh, we'll have lots of fun. You and me forever in the underwater sun.
Number 7, SB129. The one where Squidward time travels, ends up in purgatory, and comes to the realization that his life is completely meaningless without SpongeBob. Wait, what?
Hello.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start with this episode. I mean, nothing like it has come up in the show since, and this was only episode, 14 of the entire series. I suppose we should start from the beginning, where Squidward hides from SpongeBob and Patrick to get himself out of going jellyfishing. In a state of desperation, he hides in the Krusty Krab's freezer. But someone will come looking for him, right? Right?
2,000 years later.
What in The Shining? Okay, so Squidward is revived in the year 4017, where everything is chrome, SpongeBob has hundreds of clones, and Patrick has 2 heads.
Future!
Yep, yeah, me too, buddy. He travels into the past where he meets primitive versions of SpongeBob and Patrick. Here, he teaches them jellyfishing and tries to play his clarinet in peace. And yeah, that doesn't go over very well. Panicking, Squidward breaks the time machine, and this is where the episode goes off the rails. Alright, so SpongeBob is not a deep show by any means. The stories can be intriguing from time to time, the characters can be interesting to sort of dissect, but it's a kid's show. It's not that deep. But the last 2 minutes of SB129 literally leave you flabbergasted. So, the time machine malfunctions and Squidward is in this void with nothing but himself, his clarinet, and some abstract shapes. And Squidward finally takes pleasure in being here. In his present, future, and past, SpongeBob was always there. But here, in this nothingness, he can finally be all alone.
I gotta get out of here!
Quickly, Squidward realizes the genuine fear behind being alone in the world, begging to go back home.
I miss Bikini Bottom, I miss my Easter Island head, I even miss SpongeBob!
He gets whisked back and, finally, is happy to see SpongeBob and Patrick, recognizing their importance in his life. So, yeah, this is a really bizarre episode of SpongeBob. It's not even a particularly funny episode, it just leaves you with more questions than answers. I'm sure many people have picked this episode apart, but my base understanding is that it shows how dangerous being alone can be. Squidward turns his back on 2 people that actually care about him, and the universe, as a sort of penance, dooms him to freeze for 2,000 years. And in those 2,000 years, no one comes looking for him. In the future, these people he ignored still exist, so he tries hard to run away from them again. And in the past, same deal. In response, the universe finally gives Squidward what he wants: complete and utter alone time in this freaky limbo. And it isn't long before he goes crazy, learns the importance of his neighbors, and the universe finally breaks him free of his cosmic journey, sending him back to his present time. Holy shit. All of that from one cartoon made in 1999. Well, I guess a simpler explanation is that the writers just thought it would be funny to put these really weird scenes in a children's show. Or, I don't know, maybe they were just high. That's probably the more plausible. Number 6. Graveyard Shift. The one where SpongeBob and Squidward work their jobs at night.
Ow! I burned my hand! At night.
Believe it or not, this was actually my favorite episode of the whole show, from the moment I first saw it as a kid to, well, since I started organizing this top 10 list. I mean, everything about it is a great episode, don't get me wrong, but, you know, rewatching all of these as an adult, I prefer some more than others. But Graveyard Shift was my go-to for most of my childhood. Simple premise here, with Mr. Krabs violating his employees' rights by forcing SpongeBob and Squidward to work 24 hours a day so he can rake in more dough. And Squidward, of course, has a natural reaction to this.
Here, please hit me as hard as you can.
Now, one of the big memes from this episode is the at night bit.
Look at me, I'm swabbing the bathroom. At night.
And while I never worked an overnight shift anywhere, 2 summers ago I worked a 4 a.m. to 12:30 shift at a local grocery store. And honestly, working that early in the morning while it's still dark out, it does kind of have a certain vibe to it. No idea how to explain it, but just chilling in a liminal-ass store with no people around whatsoever, it's great, so I get it. Work is definitely better at night. Eventually, Squidward gets bored and tells SpongeBob the tale of the infamous hash-slinging slasher. Now, if you're watching this video, I probably don't need to recap the legendary tale, but I like this animation of SpongeBob eating a popcorn bag filled with his own arms. Now, this part of the episode where Squidward gets so bored that he just starts making stuff up is one of my favorites because of how relatable it actually is. Being the youngest brother in my family, I'm all too familiar to my older siblings doing this type of stuff to me. And speaking of being spooked and being young, this shot in particular always freaked me out as a kid. So naturally, the stuff Squidward described in his bullshit stories start to come true, including the lights flickering, the phone ringing and no one on the other end.
The phone will ring, and there'll be no one there.
And the walls oozing green slime.
Oh, wait, they always do that. But what was that third thing?
I still love that little joke of the restaurant just doing that normally on a day-to-day basis. Like, ah, yes, of course, why wouldn't they do that? I mean, I guess this is a Nickelodeon show whenever you think about it. But then we get the final piece of the puzzle when a bus at 3 a.m. drops off the hash-slinging slasher. And I gotta say, this final sequence from that initial creepy outside shot to the reveal of who the slasher actually is, it has some real strokes of genius in it.
The hash-slinging slasher!
Oh, he's gonna flip it!
I never watched any horror movies whenever I was really little, so the adrenaline that was pumping throughout this whole build-up was just so real to me as a child. Obviously, the slasher is just a dude who wants a job at the Krusty Krab, which explains everything, except for one thing.
If that was you on the phone and you on the bus, then who was flickering the lights?
Oh yeah, buddy, we already know what's coming.
Nosferatu!
Why? I have no idea. To this day, this ending is one of the weirdest endings in any piece of media I've ever consumed, ever. I mean, the ending to The Grapes of Wrath is pretty out of left field, shout out Louis C.K., but what the hell were the writers thinking with this one? And I don't mean that as a critique, I legitimately am wondering why this was chosen as the ending for this episode. Did they just think an obscure reference to a 1922 silent film that no kid could possibly understand would be funny? If so, then they succeeded because it's hilarious. Stupid, of course, but hilarious nonetheless. In fact, Robert Eggers, the writer-director behind the recent Nosferatu remake, credited this episode for introducing the film to a younger audience.
One of my favorite Nosferatu fun facts is that a lot of younger people are introduced to the character through SpongeBob SquarePants. Do you know about this? And do you think...
I do. I know about it, yeah. But you know, there was a show that called Muppet Babies when I was a kid that would play little clips of like Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera. That weird cartoon like gave me exposure to a lot of movies that like I watched when I was a little older with memories from Muppet Babies. So thanks, SpongeBob.
And it worked. I went to go see Nosferatu in theaters because I watched the original because this ending was so stupid and so out of nowhere.
Nosferatu!
Yeah, I love Graveyard Shift. This episode will always hold a special place in my heart as being one of the first pieces of media to actually release. Number 5, Jellyfish Jam. The one where SpongeBob has fun with a jellyfish for 18 hours.
18 hours!
And you're probably thinking, like, really, man, this one cracks the top 5? And yeah, it does, because honestly, I have a great time rewatching this episode each and every time I decide to visit it again. And a lot of the humor and charm present in this episode comes from the animation more than anything else. SpongeBob is out jellyfishing as per usual and ends up taking one home, much to Squidward's chagrin.
I wouldn't let that thing in my house even if it was potty trained. I didn't need to see that.
He asks how SpongeBob could possibly have fun with a jellyfish. And what results is, I don't know, one of the most iconic scenes in animation history, easily in SpongeBob's history anyway. Again, no idea how or why they came up with this, but I am in love with the way that this is animated, and the way the audio meters have an obnoxious genre, the flashing colors, the shapes, and obviously, the music. It's so random, it's so stupid, but I love it. I guess jellyfish are naturally drawn to obnoxiously loud electronic music because when SpongeBob wakes up the next morning, he finds his house infiltrated with a smack of jellyfish. And don't tell me that smack is not the right word for a group of jellyfish, because I googled it. Again, some great animation here with the way the jellyfish play with SpongeBob. And hey look, a CGI shot in a SpongeBob episode. Yeah, this is a great shot. It cracks me up each and every single time I watch it.
SpongeBob, listen to me, you square-headed assault on my ears! I've had enough of it!
Squidward bites back by playing his clarinet loudly, which the jellyfish do not enjoy.
Wait, I can turn it down.
Low-key, the funniest part of the episode is when Squidward throws up his white flag, gives his clarinet to SpongeBob, and in response to the jellyfish, do this.
Hey now, that wasn't nice.
So, things are a little out of hand as SpongeBob and Gary flee to the roof, where Gary introduces them to a new kind of jam. And the resulting musical number is known simply as the Jellyfish Jam, and it's probably the best part of the whole episode. The Jellyfish Jam holds a very proud spot in my Spotify playlist. I don't know, I love this episode, I always have. It takes just such a simple premise and goes the extra mile with it, with just the animation, the music, the humor. One of the best. Number 4, the Fry Cook Games. The one with, well, This is another one I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but like with most of the others on this list, it takes such a simple but unique premise and just goes the extra mile with it. The legendary rivalry of the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket being put on full display, roping SpongeBob and Patrick right into it. And straight away from the title card alone, it sets the tone for an epic story. Now, the first half of this episode is admittedly a bit of a slow burn. SpongeBob will represent the Krusty Krab in the games, and Patrick gets on his bad side by saying being a fry cook is easy.
You're just flipping patties.
Hey, flipping is not as easy as it sounds.
They trade insults and Patrick becomes the representative of the Chum Bucket. So SpongeBob and Patrick, two best friends, are forced to compete in the Fry Cook Games. The respective speeches that Krabs and Plankton give to their participants is where the episode really starts to take off.
Just look at him, square, the shape of evil!
Seeing the different events and how they all relate to fast food is just easily the best part of the episode. It's all so creative, and it kind of makes me wish there were an actual Fry Cook Games.
Get your fish sticks here!
Oh god, okay, maybe not. And honestly, watching this episode back kinda makes me wish it was a double-length episode, or at least a Shanghai type of situation where it runs about 15 minutes, because just look at this quick compilation that they use in the episode.
That's what you think, but it's not over yet!
I guess maybe that tiny montage is all that you need, but it really does make me want more from this episode. The culminating event is the bun wrestling, where it's revealed that SpongeBob is wearing pink underwear while Patrick is wearing yellow. So by wearing each other's colors, I guess that reinforces their friendship?
Let's go home!
Honestly, in writing about this episode, there isn't a ton that I can say, as a lot of the good stuff comes from the actual premise and the execution. I don't have any personal ties to this episode that I can really talk about, but it's a good one. I mean, it is number 4. Number 3. Pizza delivery. The one where SpongeBob teaches Squidward how the pioneers hitchhiked. This one always makes it to the top of people's lists, and mine is no exception. Hell, on my initial watch of my list for this video, I placed pizza delivery in the number 1 spot. And honestly, any of these top 3 can be swapped around easily, because these are all fantastic episodes. So SpongeBob and Squidward are tasked with delivering a pizza because some barnacle head thinks that the Krusty Krab, a fast food burger joint, serves pizza.
Mr. Kraft, we don't serve pizza.
Oh, well, alright then. Things go awry right off the bat when Squidward lets SpongeBob drive the boat. And of course, if you guys know the SpongeBob lore, the man is incapable of driving.
Back it up!
Back it up!
So the boat goes into reverse until morning apparently, leaving the two stranded in the middle of nowhere. This is where the strength of the episode truly lies. The interactions between SpongeBob and Squidward. It's just so good that the episode, the jokes, and the scenarios all seem to write themselves. All Squidward wants to do is get home while SpongeBob is hell-bent on getting this pizza to the customer no matter the cost.
Who cares about the customer?
I do!
Well, I don't!
Squidward.
And this scene with the tornado reminds me of the time a couple months ago where my girlfriend and I were on a walk outside, and I made mention of the weather being like the Wizard of Oz because it was really windy out. And in reply, all she said was, Krusty Krab!
Krusty Krab! Yeah, pizza!
I mean, that just goes to show how iconic this episode in particular is.
It's the pizza, yeah, for you and me!
SpongeBob tries to show Squidward the pioneer techniques on how to hitchhike.
Fresh and break dancer!
How to find out what direction town is.
You think that we should go that way?
Yep.
Well, then I'm going this way.
Huh?
And what they ate.
No, maybe it wasn't coral. Maybe it was sand. No, mud.
Give me the pizza!
They eventually find a boulder, which... Wait, sorry, what?
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock. A rock.
Oh, okay, sorry. A rock, which the pioneers traveled in. Squidward, knowing that none of the pioneer tricks so far have worked, starts to argue with SpongeBob.
And now you're telling me they thought they could drive rocks?
I guess you don't need a license to drive a sandwich or a rock. So after all of this, SpongeBob successfully drives to the customer's house to deliver the pizza. And for someone who easily waited over 12 hours to get this pizza, he actually seems pretty chill about it.
Wow, thanks. I've been dying for one of these. Where's my drink?
What drink?
Oh, shit. Yeah, this is such a hard scene to sit through because we know SpongeBob loves his job and is the personification of customer satisfaction when it comes to his work. And here it is, all blowing up in his face just because they forgot the Diet Dr. Kelp.
Didn't you ever once think of the customer? You call yourself a delivery boy? Well, I ain't buying!
Squidward quickly remedies the situation like so.
Look, I told your little friend I ain't paying for that!
Well, this one's on the...
Hell yeah, dude, we love Squidward. Hell, we love this duo together. Out of all the episodes that center around SpongeBob and Squidward, this one is the crown jewel. Which is hilarious because it's the first of its kind, only episode 5 overall in the whole show. The SpongeBob Wiki even says it was the second episode ever produced just after Help Wanted. But yeah, I could sit through a whole movie just centered around these two on some big adventure. Like, could you imagine the SpongeBob movie if it was SpongeBob and Squidward going after the crown instead of SpongeBob and Patrick? That aside, this is a perfect episode. Like I said, this was initially number 1 on my first watch through of my list of episodes. When it comes to SpongeBob and Squidward-centric episodes, this one simply cannot be topped. Number 2, Pickles. The one where SpongeBob forgets the pickles.
You lose.
Interestingly enough, this episode comes right after pizza delivery and right before jellyfish jam. Damn, quite the hot streak here early on in the show. This is an episode where as a kid, I just thought it was good, but rewatching it as an adult, man, it is one of the hardest hitting episodes in the entire series. We start out as regular as could be in the Krusty Krab, where SpongeBob is thriving.
First bun, then patty, followed by ketchup, mustard, pickles, extra onions, lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, and bun, in that order.
And Squidward is surviving.
Can I get some extra salt?
We're all out.
Could you check?
No.
The atmosphere of the workday changes when Bubble Bass comes in, and he's notoriously known for being a picky eater, and tries out one of SpongeBob's Krabby Patties to see if they're really all that.
Only one thing. You forgot the pickles!
This reveal of SpongeBob forgetting the pickles sends SpongeBob into a complete breakdown mode. All of a sudden, he cannot do his job.
Bun down, shoe, mustard, pan, bun now!
Mr. Krabs sends him home for the day, and the man cannot even sleep properly.
Come on, get it right. Wrong. Aw, and I almost had it.
In SpongeBob's absence, Krabs relies on Squidward to make the Krabby Patties, and he quickly realizes he's got to get SpongeBob back.
He burnt my fries.
He burnt my shake.
And my man is in a pit of deep depression. This guy has a toaster on his door, bread nailed to the wall, and a bicycle cooking on the stove.
It's like riding a bike. You never forget.
And this, for me anyways, is where the episode really shines. SpongeBob lost his confidence and in turn lost his sanity in this moment. He's in a crisis. He believes he doesn't deserve his dream job at the Krusty Krab, and he is far from the best fry cook that everyone paints him out to be. Long story short, he feels like a fraud. It's actually a pretty real and adult theme for this show to tackle. I'm sure all of us in our lives have lost confidence along the way or have been humiliated in some way that just makes us retreat into a shell, and in the process, we do end up losing ourselves. It takes several days, but when SpongeBob tries convincing Mr. Krabs that he is not capable of making a Krabby Patty, he inadvertently makes one perfect first try.
I can't put a patty on a bun with lettuce, cheese, onions, tomatoes, ketchup, mustard, pickles, and top bun together in that order!
He had it in him all along. He just needed to get his confidence back. Upon returning to the Krusty Krab, all of Bikini Bottom gathers together to celebrate the return of SpongeBob, this new and improved SpongeBob, confident and ready to go. Of course, this news reaches Bubble Bass, and we get the rematch of the century. And god damn it, this sequence of SpongeBob and Bubble Bass facing off like it's an old western, one of the best moments in the whole show. It's so intense. This man single-handedly made SpongeBob lose his confidence and his mind, and here he is, back again. And SpongeBob is ready for him.
Give me the regular, and this time, don't forget the pickles.
I didn't.
Bubble Bass tries to claim once again that the Krabby Patty is without pickles. SpongeBob, knowing in his heart, soul, and mind that that could not be possible, notices Bubble Bass's tongue hiding the pickles all along.
Look! He's been hiding the pickles under his tongue the whole time!
That initial patty SpongeBob made was perfect, but Bubble Bass, with no real motive other than just trying to slander his name, was hiding them on purpose. Simply put, Bubble Bass is an asshole.
And there's the pickles from last time, too!
And there's my car keys!
And there's my ride.
And just like that, Bubble Bass is called out, SpongeBob is back, and they all live happily ever after. Again, this episode just hits hard for me because I love the message about confidence and just how easy it can be to lose yourself without it. There's a YouTuber named Level 1 Rock that tier listed the first 3.5 seasons or so of SpongeBob a few years back, which you guys should go check out. It served as a big inspiration for this video, and it's probably one of the best SpongeBob ranking videos I've ever seen. But anyways, at the risk of spoiling that video, Level 1 Rock placed Pickles as his #1 episode of the entire show, or of those first 3.5 seasons. But yeah, he placed Pickles in the #1 spot, and I remember watching the video for the first time, and I thought, you know, man, like, really, Pickles? I mean, it's good, but is it really that good? And yeah, then I went to go rewatch it, and yeah, man, this is a fantastic episode. It is just that good. Like how Pizza Delivery is the quintessential SpongeBob and Squidward episode, Pickles is the quintessential SpongeBob going head-to-head with an adversary episode. Classic shit. Well, here we are, almost at #1. And you guys may be thinking, what's the point of even keeping #1 under wraps? We all know what it is, we all love this episode. #1 is obviously Band Geeks. Well, it isn't.
Cotton candy, get your cotton candy, it's alright, that cotton candy.
Listen, I rewatched Band Geeks for this video, okay? I rewatched it. And honestly, yeah, I think objectively speaking, it may be the best SpongeBob episode. If not the best, then easily top 5, maybe top 3. But all that being said, it's not a personal favorite of mine. Yes, it's iconic and funny and a great Squidward episode, but for the sake of not beating a dead horse, I don't want to rave about this episode in my own ranking list. We all know it's great, I'm fully willing to admit that it's one of the best, but it's not my favorite, or even the one I get the most enjoyment out of. Second, I gotta give some love to Season 3 in this video, because no Season 3 episode made it into the top 10. Sure, there's some in the top 20, but something about those first 2 seasons really resonate with me, apparently. In fact, I've found myself getting the most enjoyment out of Season 1 episodes in this whole watch-through, so Season 1 is probably my favorite season of the entire show. But anyways, Season 3 still has some favorites in it, like the training video episode and the Crab Borg episode. My original watch list I had for this video included 47 or 48 episodes because, like I said at the beginning, I simply don't have the energy or the time to sit down and watch and rewatch and rank all of the original SpongeBob episodes, because if I were to do that, I might as well just make a whole big tier list and talk about all the episodes, but that's not the video that I wanted to make. But here is my initial ranking of those 47 or so episodes I picked to watch. And you know you have a good show when an episode like Your Shoes Untied is at the bottom of the list, and seeing Ripped Pants and Shanghai so low is probably a sin to most. And notice Sleepy Time in slot number 24 on this initial list, because it shot all the way up to number 8 in the finalized list. The fact of the matter is that these were all ranked based on how I was feeling one day, 1 year, at one age. Day by day, the episodes in my favorites list will shift, make some people happy, some people mad. What it all comes down to is that all of these episodes are classic, iconic, funny, whatever you want to say. They're all of those things in their own unique individual ways. I know I didn't rewatch episodes that I probably really should have, stuff like Club SpongeBob, Neptune's Spatula, Bubble Buddy, New Student Starfish, Fun, R, Imitation Crabs, Hooky, Christmas Who, and the plethora of seasons 4 and 5 episodes that I genuinely really love and enjoy. While all of those episodes are also great, I picked out those initial 47 or 48 based on how I was feeling reading the title, what the episode personally meant to me, just upon reading the title, thinking in my head, maybe this could make it into the top 10. That was my real criteria when going through to weed out some of the lesser episodes. I mean, who knows, Hooky may be my favorite episode of the whole show, but as the top 10 list stands right now, I'm pretty happy with the list. I don't think it's changing anytime soon. And finally, I gotta give a special shout out to the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. In many ways, this is the crown jewel of this quote-unquote golden era of SpongeBob, as many call it. A great story with an epic adventure, good morals, weird shit like David Hasselhoff, and some great musical numbers. Truly a gem I will revisit many, many times throughout my life. And now, we get to the moment you've all been waiting for. What one episode, for me, trumps something like the movie? What one episode trumps my childhood favorite Graveyard Shift? What one episode trumps classics like Pizza Delivery, Procrastination? Hell, what one episode could top something like Band Geeks? Well, there's only one way. Rock Bottom. The one where SpongeBob ends up in Now Leaving Bikini Bottom.
Patrick, I think we're on the wrong...
Yeah, I know. Sorry if my shirt spoiled it, but I had bought this shirt back when I thought Pizza Delivery was going to be my #1 episode, but upon rewatching all these episodes, Rock Bottom, as it stands right now, this exact time, this exact minute, probably won't be the case by the time that you guys watch this video. Rock Bottom is my absolute favorite episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. First, let's go ahead and walk ourselves through this episode. Right off the bat, akin to episodes like Graveyard Shift and the Fry Cook games, we set the mood just by the title card. Actually, if you notice, Rock Bottom and Graveyard Shift share the same background. We open with SpongeBob and Patrick leaving Glove World on a bus, and already this scene, not even 1 minute into the episode, is hilarious. This poor bus driver is just doing his job, but SpongeBob keeps wailing on him with this balloon, enough for him to just completely lose it.
Forget it!
What did you say?
Just take your seat!
Thanks, mister.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I can't say I blame him there. Eventually, Patrick notices the signs that say leaving Bikini Bottom, and before they know it, they are going down into a brand new territory. The bus driver literally throws them out of the bus, and even after SpongeBob protests, just leaves them stranded.
We need to get back to Bikini Bottom.
Oh well.
We learn this place is Rock Bottom, and goddamn, I love the animation of this place. I love the classic cell animation represented in Season 1 already, but the technique really makes Rock Bottom come to life in a way. Contrasted with the bright and sunny Bikini Bottom, Rock Bottom is dark, barren, and, as SpongeBob said,
even the soil looks different.
Would you mind putting me down?
I think Rock Bottom is where my love of liminal spaces started. Even when there are people present, the animation delivers. In later seasons of SpongeBob, maybe not so much seasons 1 and 2, but the fish in Rock Bottom would probably be grotesque monsters. Here, their designs are just so unique, and I love looking at them. SpongeBob and Patrick are rightfully scared in being in such a new place, so they do the smart thing and split up. And yeah, that's always my first idea when I'm in an unfamiliar place. Funny enough, as soon as they split up, Patrick is on a bus.
This place sure is creepy.
Hey, SpongeBob, the bus is here!
I always loved the abruptness and the absurdity of just, hey SpongeBob, the bus is here. Like, really, dude? Just, already, okay, SpongeBob is stranded in Rock Bottom. And also, I don't know how I got this far into the video without giving a shout out to the show's background music, but it is used very effectively in this episode just by setting the atmosphere. Not only that, but I just enjoy the music. For example, this scene in which SpongeBob is chasing down the bus, it's just surf rock instrumental and it's great to listen to. A YouTuber named Greg Cubed made a really good video about SpongeBob's background music in these early seasons, and I highly recommend you guys all check it out. Now, the majority of this episode relies on one gag, that being that no matter what, SpongeBob ends up missing the bus back to Bikini Bottom. And while this may seem repetitive and overall not interesting, the writers and animators really deliver here, and it makes this episode so engaging, even though it may be viewed by some as a joke beaten to death. SpongeBob chases his balloon, he misses the bus. He disguises himself as a bench, misses the bus. Sets up a decoy of himself, misses the bus. I mean, the man cannot catch a break here. The best instance of this is the race against the clock to get a candy bar from the vending machine. Great visual gag here of SpongeBob reaching in for that candy bar. Then, of course, we get the cherry on top of this scene that makes me just die with laughter every single time.
Hey! That was mine!
Like, dude, what a dick move. It's one of those things that's just so mean and so awful that you need to laugh. The misfortune that SpongeBob is going through is just so much, and on top of it all, this dude just has to walk in and steal his candy bar. SpongeBob finally gives in and goes into the bus station, where we get a colorful cast of characters with the natives of Rock Bottom. And here we get the reveal of the accent of Rock Bottom just blowing raspberries, like, it's so stupid. Such a stupid joke.
I can't understand your accent.
Well, the bus station is closed down and now SpongeBob is left in the darkness. But he whips out his glove light, nice little callback, little foreshadowing type of deal there. And then obviously that has to fail too, and now my guy is stuck in advanced darkness in Rock Bottom. Couldn't get much worse for him. SpongeBob's saving grace is the one decent dude in all of Rock Bottom, the guy who chased down his balloon. And balloon travel is SpongeBob's key out of Rock Bottom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the classic story similar to Lord of the Rings. Start your heroes off in the Shire, drag them down to the unfamiliar pits of hell, and then bring them back home. And yes, I just compared an episode of SpongeBob to Lord of the Rings. Deal with it. And wait, what the hell? Why is SpongeBob's house slapped onto Bikini Bottom like that? I never noticed that before. And then we leave it off on one last chuckle.
Don't worry, SpongeBob, I'm coming back for you!
The end. This is another one I liked as a kid, but now it just tickles my fancy in just about every single way. There's a lot of funny jokes, the animation is pretty, I love the setting of Rock Bottom, seeing a different area has a creepiness factor to it. The fact that SpongeBob is at Rock Bottom in Rock Bottom, the very setting being a metaphor for how he feels. Yeah, this episode's great. Not only that, but if you think about it, SpongeBob is kind of left on his own for most of this episode, and that's a bit of a rare thing. In my top 10 alone, other than maybe procrastination, it's always SpongeBob bouncing off of another character, and in the case of SB129, SpongeBob isn't even the main character. Here we have our title character shining, and everything about this episode, to me, screams perfect. And that, my friends, makes Rock Bottom my personal favorite episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. And with that, as a 21-year-old man, those are my top 10 favorite SpongeBob episodes. Hope you all enjoyed, and let me know down in the comments what some of your favorite episodes are. But I find that since this is an anniversary video for me, and I sort of jumped into the video right away with no lengthy introduction or anything, I want to take some time to talk about what SpongeBob personally means to me, because there's a reason why my first crack at YouTube was talking about this show. Simply put, I mean, it is iconic. I mean, it's easily the best of the best when you talk about Nicktoons. Older people love Rugrats, but they also love SpongeBob. People my age, they love, I don't know, something like Fairly Odd Parents, but they also love SpongeBob. People younger than me, I don't know, they really like The Loud House. Is that show even still on? I don't know, but point is, they also love SpongeBob. It's a multi-generational show, and even for me, rewatching all of these episodes as an adult, it's not just because they're genuinely funny. You know, I have a good time with them, but not just because they're funny, but because they're relatable. One of my favorite videos on the internet is Emp Lemon's SpongeBob video essay, where he describes that as a kid you see the world through the eyes of SpongeBob, and as an adult you view it through the eyes of Squidward. And these polar opposites bonding truly is the core of the show. That, combined with stories about confidence, procrastination, friendship, it just makes the shows feel so universal. For me, I first got into SpongeBob through this VHS tape called Nautical Nonsense, which, actually, if you look it up, it's the first piece of home media that ever released with the SpongeBob name. This tape belonged to my older brothers, and naturally it was passed down to me. And since it's been around kids for so many years, the sleeve is gone, it looks like someone stepped on it at one point, but it still plays like a charm. It has stuff like Ripped Pants, SB129, and Graveyard Shift. And this pool of episodes shows how versatile SpongeBob can really be. You have a classic Be Yourself story with a memorable song, an existential crisis time travel episode, and a spooky night shift story with a real what the hell kind of ending. So, it's iconic, multi-generational, relatable, and versatile, but to me, it just means something more. I was really into two things as a kid, Star Trek and SpongeBob. And as you can imagine, in elementary school at that age, I could really only talk about one of those things with my classmates. SpongeBob was, and still just is, so big that it just made me feel like I belonged. I also just had a great time back in the day watching discussion videos about SpongeBob. I was a massive fan of YouTubers like Pie Guy Rules and the mysterious Mr. Enter. And granted, nowadays I look back and I wonder why I watched so many videos of grown men getting legitimately angry about SpongeBob, but that's just what I liked as a kid. You know, SpongeBob was my hyperfixation back in the day, and there's just a real sense of community and togetherness when it comes to talking about the show, both in my real life and on the, through the virtual world on the internet. Watching those old YouTube reviews of SpongeBob as a kid was my main inspiration at first to take a real stab at doing YouTube as a stuttering 11-year-old. And that's what I did. I talked about SpongeBob starting in November of 2015 on my YouTube channel that I literally called Mr. SB. Then, I shut down that channel in March of 2016 because I really wanted to branch out into other content, and since then I never really uploaded on Mr. SB again. Other than this video, of course. I'm uploading this video on both my main channel and Mr. SB just for some shits and gigs. But yeah, even though I abandoned Mr. SB for uploading, and I unlisted all of those old SpongeBob reviews, I really just moved on from the channel. Even after all that, SpongeBob was still around, both on YouTube and in my real life. I mean, I still talked about it from time to time on my current channel. In fact, my most popular video for the longest time was a SpongeBob DVD collection video, actually, from nearly a decade ago. You know, that was the most popular video on my channel for the longest time. It has, like 34,000 views or something crazy like that. Like, people love SpongeBob, and it's just, I don't know, you can strike up a conversation with anyone my age, and inevitably SpongeBob will weasel its way in the conversation somehow, whether it's like a quote or, oh, this reminds me of SpongeBob. Like, dude, my girlfriend has a fucking gooberberry sunrise tattoo on her arm for corn's sake.
Abby.
Yes.
You know what to do.
Okay.
Show your coolest tattoo that you'll ever have in your entire life.
It's a Goofy Goober tattoo. It's the ice cream sundae, this triple gooberberry sunrise that SpongeBob and Patrick go absolutely insane on after SpongeBob does not get his promotion.
Yeah, and they get drunk.
Yeah.
And they're wildly hungover the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you have it
now I have
immortalized.
it. Yeah, on me forever.
Yep. Isn't SpongeBob so cool?
So fantastic. Yeah.
Long story short, SpongeBob is one of my big comfort shows, and I know I am very much not alone in that fact. Underwater sea animals getting into silly antics with funny jokes, good stories, and memorable characters. That's all I'm saying. SpongeBob means a hell of a lot to me, and a hell of a lot to so many other people. And with that, I guess that's my justification for me, a 21-year-old man, going back and rewatching all these old SpongeBob videos, or episodes rather, and making this video. Yeah, I just like rewatching SpongeBob from time to time, you know, even as a young adult, and chances are, if you've made it this far into the video, you guys all know exactly what I mean. In the words of Emp Lemon himself, there will never ever be another cartoon quite like SpongeBob SquarePants. The start of Mr. SB is not the only anniversary video that I have planned. I mentioned before that I abandoned that channel in March of 2016, which ushered in my time where I finally buckled down on YouTube and started this near, 10-year stretch of content creation. You know, it's lasted until this very day right now. So, March 2026, the 10-year anniversary of my current channel, will see the release of a big anniversary video that I hope you guys all stick around to watch. More information on it will come in the new year, probably in January. I'll have a brief announcement video for it. But thank you all for watching, and I'm glad I was able to make this video, not just for you guys, but also for me. You know, I remember back in the day watching all those, all the cartoon reviewers, and it was always such a big deal whenever they would make, like, their top 10 episodes of insert show here, because, you know, it was always them talking about the best of the best, and you would wait to see if your favorite episode was in their top 10 list. And yeah, I guess it was finally time to throw my hat into the virtual ring and yeah, just share my opinion with SpongeBob in the online aether of SpongeBob opinions that everyone obviously cares so much about. And yeah, it feels good. It feels like I've fulfilled a prophecy of some kind. But alright, I'll see you guys in the next one, which will likely be the announcement video for the big March 2026 anniversary video. And yeah, as crazy as this is gonna sound, thank you for watching me talk about SpongeBob for 10 years on YouTube. So, with that, peace out.
So feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I hope you stick along for the ride. So peace out, and please stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Bye bye.